Created on February 3rd, 1976, Ogun State in the last 47 years has been one of the most prominent states in the socio-economic and political journey of Nigeria. The state has been governed by 16 military administrations and civilian governors from March 1976 till date. Ogun State contributes significantly to production of poultry products in Nigeria. In addition, the popular Ofada rice is grown almost exclusively in the state. Cocoa, kola nuts, rubber, palm oil, and palm kernels, tobacco, cotton, and timber are the main cash crops found in the state. The state has also been blessed with some of the best brains in different areas of human endeavors: politics, education, science and technology, medicine, commerce, and sports. In close to 4 years now, when the mantle of leadership of the state fell on Prince Dapo Abiodun, Ogun State has experienced in leaps and bounds economic growth, educational improvement, and other feats in social investments, youth empowerment, healthcare delivery, and agriculture. The ambience of the state in infrastructure development is not what it used to be, as the state is now dotted by road networks that are rapidly impacting the lives of residents of the state. These roads are evenly spread to all parts of the state, opening up new economic opportunities and creating more small and medium-scale businesses across the state. One agency of the state government critical to this is the Ogun State Agricultural and Multi-Purpose Credit Agency, Osamca. Osamca, which has as mission empowerment of bona fide entrepreneurs through provision of credit for the development of agricultural and non-agricultural enterprises, provision of low interest rate credit to agricultural and non-agricultural entrepreneurs, meeting and satisfying the loan demands of genuine entrepreneurs in need of funds, serving as growth strategy for the development of rural areas, generation of employment, reduction of poverty, and rural-urban migration resulting from unemployment and underemployment.
Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR is a working governor, and his quest to help people, to assist both people, all entrepreneurial process, be it in agricultural sector or non-agricultural, has ensured that this agency came back live and running. And my predecessor under him, we had over 2,000 people that applied for loan. We granted them that loan. Over 600 million was dispensed to multiple different level of businesses, both agri and non-agri. We have over 6,000 people that have been trained in different field of enterprise. So you know that when you have a working governor, you don't have a choice than to do that. And my predecessor has, latched on the feat and the the enablement that the governor gave him to work. And on that premise, on that foundation, that's where I'm going to latch on and build more.
The first part of the structure is the law that enable the agency to function as it is. If not for the law that established Osamca, it will probably have ended when in the last administration, because the last administration did not want to see any initiative of previous government. Osamca has been instrumental in giving loans to individuals and corporate organizations at the level that it was meant to serve, because it's principally to serve people who may not have access to commercial banks and other lenders.
By year 2023, Osamca has significantly contributed to the growth of the economy of the state through its various initiatives made accessible to entrepreneurs in all parts of the state.
In fact, in the area of social infrastructure, who are the infrastructure? It's the people. It's the society. Social. It's society. And then when you talk about the youth, the elderly, you will find out that 62% of the Nigerian population is handled by, is being occupied by the youth. And therefore, the governor cannot joke with them, and he has not joked with them. You will see all our programs that we have in the state across board. He try as much as possible to involve the youth. During our training section, if you look at the number of people that benefited, the large quantum are the youth. In fact, I would say about 68-70% of the recipients of that training, the participants, they were the youth. And their feedback was fantastic. So the Iseya mantra, the governor has succeeded through this agency to impact in that 5 sectors to impact people's life in all the five, the 20 local governments across the states.
Osamca were able to provide loans to more than 2,000 people. 2,000 businesses, business finance loans, and trained about 6,000 jobless people. And that, I think, is something to appreciate the governor for. So that means from the time this administration started and the agency was constituted by appointing the chairman, the board, and the general manager, loan have been granted to those who need them to the tune of about 850 million, between 850 million and 1 billion.
However, while Osamca is lubricating small and medium-scale businesses in the state, the bigger picture of development and growth of the state are firmly anchored on the Iseya development mantra of the state government. Iseya is an acronym for infrastructure, social welfare and well-being, education, youth empowerment, and agriculture. In infrastructure, beyond the hundreds of kilometers of roads constructed, reconstructed, or rehabilitated by the Governor Dapo Abiodun administration, the last 3 years and 9 months have witnessed building of primary health care centers, new housing units, many yellow roof school structures, newly built or rehabilitated, and a facelift for the June 12 Cultural Center in Abeokuta, among others. For social welfare and well-being of residents of the state, healthcare delivery, resuscitation of the Arakonga Water Project, women empowerment programs, new environmental policies, distribution of transformers for power supply to communities, and new trucks and offices for fire and safety service have all been given prime of place by the administration.
As governor of Ogun State, I've embarked on a lot of policy reforms and programs, but if there's any program that I have initiated that's given me a lot of joy, is this program. And what is this program? It's called the Okowo Dapo, which is basically an empowerment program that allows us to empower our women who are at the bottom end of the spectrum. These are women that are extremely dependable and reliable. These are women that we often take advantage of by canvassing for their support and their votes. They're the ones who would help us in canvassing for the support of the generality of people in their various constituency and wards. They're the ones that will be the first to get to polling units. They'll be there, they'll cast their votes, they'll be there, they will ensure that they stay there till voting is completed and counted. They will defend those votes. But once government is formed, these women oftentimes are forgotten because they don't qualify to benefit from contracts. Most of them, they are not appointable into offices. And we struggle with finding ways and means to empower them and ensure that our empowerment reaches the generality of the women. So as a state government, we sat down and we thought, what can we do to impact their lives positively? And what can we do that will be sustainable? So we thought of this cooperative scheme, which we call Okowoda. And we do that by allowing them to do something that they are used to, because we don't want something too complicated. We don't want something that's too difficult for them to understand. So we started with a pilot scheme. And that pilot scheme, we did it along with the World Bank. It's called the Nigerian for Women Project by the World Bank. They teach them how to save weekly. They provide them with a passbook. They teach them how to formulate for themselves a constitution for that group. They now begin to save. They save as it is convenient for them. Government now supports them with a matching grant/loan. It has allowed us to keep these women busy. It's allowed us to aggregate them so that they are now engaging themselves. They are relating better with each other. They are doing better.
Being the education capital of the nation, the Dapo Abiodun-led administration has consolidated on the past achievements of the state by further developing the state's human capital through reinvigoration of primary and secondary education and bringing a new lease of life to tertiary education. Recently, the Tai Sholari College of Education in Omuajoshe was upgraded and renamed as Sikiru Adetono College of Education, Science and Technology.
Our administration in the last 3.5 years have been changing the face and status of the Gateway State. We have not only put in place the necessary ambience for business to thrive, we have also embarked on massive infrastructure development across all the 3 territorial districts of our state. We have remained unwavering in our commitment to the successful implementation of our Building Our Future Together agenda by providing social intervention programs, providing quality education for our youth, the continuous implementation of our youth development agenda, and harnessing our many potentials. As we are constructing new roads, we're also redesigning and reconstructing existing ones. As a matter of fact, your administration has constructed over 400 kilometers of roads, and we have rehabilitated over 1,000 schools and built over 1,200 affordable housing units and hundreds of PHCs, whilst providing different social intervention programs, all encapsulated in the Building a Future Together agenda. On assumption of office on the 29th of May 2019, we were confronted with a very unnerving situation in Tai Sholari College of Education, Umuijebu, with so much to contend with on various issues. The institution was comatose. Lecturers were kidnapping students and vice versa. Academic activities had grounded to a halt. Of course, they had never graduated a single student. But because of our unwavering commitment to the education of our children, who are indeed the future of our country, we speedily set the ball rolling by appointing a visitation panel led by the distinguished Professor Kamal Dean Balogun. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate Professor Balogun and all the members of this panel for the brilliant work they did and their recommendations, which became the foundation for the new Tai Sholari College of Education. They have been largely responsible for the complete turnaround and rebirth of this great institution. That was how the rebuilding process of this college began. Undoubtedly, our administration has carried out a critical assessment of the education sector in Abia State with a view to determining appropriate interventions. This assessment revealed confounding challenges, which included dilapidated classrooms, acute shortage of infrastructure materials and textbooks, insufficient classrooms and furniture for both students and their teachers, lack of regular training for teachers, poor commitment by teachers due to lack of incentives and motivation, both both intrinsic and extrinsic, result in poor teaching habits, collapse of supervision and monitoring, poor administrative structure in the schools, resulting in indiscipline and outright gangsterism, insufficient funding, and poor remuneration of the workforce. Our approach to these myriads of problems was multidimensional. Our position was that no Ogun State child must be denied access to qualitative education for whatever reason. And this, our stand, is not negotiable. We believe our children must be adequately prepared for their future roles as leaders of the society. 3.5 years down the line, I'm pleased to inform you that we have tackled the challenges head on. The first step we took was to provide, sustain, and safeguard unhindered access and equity in education. I believe is that a well-educated and healthy youth population, provided with the ambience for personal growth, will develop to be a patriotic and economically responsible citizen who will contribute to the development process and ensure the sustenance of that process not only in Ogun State but at the national level.
Youth empowerment and sports development have also enjoyed great attention of the administration. Apart from several youth programs, creation of a tech hub for advancement of information and communication technology knowledge, youths in Ogun State are about to experience the biggest all-sports event in the country. The National Sports Festival, built to be hosted by the state next year. Already, the MQ Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, one of the venues for the event, have had its stands totally covered, repainted and restructured in some areas. Athletes that recently represented the state at the Asaba Delta State National Sports Festival were handsomely rewarded by the state government.
We want to appreciate our governor, Prince Abiodun MFR. We want to appreciate him very much for a promise made and a promise kept, a promise fulfilled. We say more of it in Jesus' name.
Many of our athletes left because of no award. But now the governor have make this athlete knowing that when you suffer for anything and you get a reward.
I see that all the athletes and coach are happy with this gesture, and this will motivate us more so that the next festival we are going to make the state proud.
In agriculture, the state governor has won numerous awards for his initiatives in this sector, making the state signature of attention and reference in modern agricultural revolution. With Ogun State firmly on track in agriculture development, one can imagine what the state will become in the next few years, now with an agro-cargo airport in Ilishon, Iperu axis of the state. The airport recently had a test flight ceremony which attracted the cream of the nation's business sector. Not only in air transportation, however, has the state taken a big stride. Governor Dapo Abiodun also created a Ministry of Transportation in the state, and this agency has facilitated the running of a mass transit bus system, which is one of the elements of the state's transport master plan. All this would, however, come to naught without adequate security. And to achieve this, Governor Dapo Abiodun, on assumption of office, created a security trust fund which has crystallized in huge investments in security equipment that are now being utilized across the state.
I was shocked to find out that the members of the Security Council, mainly the heads of the security agencies, said to me that that was the first time they were having a Security Council meeting in probably 4 years or 5 years. I wanted to understand the state of security in the state and the suggestions as to what would need to be done. Because if indeed I want to be the truly industrial capital, if indeed I want to endear people to come to Ogun State to come and live, work and play, if indeed that remains my comparative advantage, being the closest to the busiest seaport and the busiest airport, and also the gateway to the rest of the country, I must ensure that there's peace and security in my state. Because you cannot and you will not have any socio-economic development in an atmosphere of insecurity.
It is then appropriate to conclude that for these good jobs to continue and properly institutionalized, Governor Dapo Abiodun deserves a second term in office.
Our governor have done more infrastructure than any government previously. And this has touched all local government of the state. The infrastructure is not only on roads. We see all the roads that have been built in Ogun Central. Some government will probably have abandoned the uncompleted infrastructure they met on ground from the predecessor. But our governor did not do that. He finished every road and built new ones. And that is kudos to him. He did the same in Ogun West and did the same in Ogun East. On education, before he came, children were sitting down under the sun and under the rain. Some of the schools, the roofs have gone off and nobody attended to it. They were excusing themselves to find a place to run away from the rain when it is raining. But our governor started covering all the roofs and rehabilitating all the school structures and all that. And that is a very big achievement, and people must reward him for that by giving him a second term. Also, in the area of health, building hospitals and equipping them, providing facilities within the hospitals for people to be attended to at the appropriate time, ambulances all over the place, constructing fire station and buying, putting there ambulances. So that's big, and nobody thought of that previously. And it's not been selfish at all. He has the mind to help the people, to make sure everybody is economically doing well by appointing the board of Osamca to make sure that even the less privileged have access to facilities to develop their micro businesses. And that's where Osamca falls in.
This governor is looking, my governor is looking beyond today. He's looking at institutions that were at last year. That you can always point and say, look, during Dapo Abiodun's administration, this organization, this agency has become, a standing body by itself that can cater for the need of the rural people. You can't take away the communities from the people. It's not only the cities that we're talking about. And that is the focus of, of this agency. It's the community itself. The people that are that should be real beneficiary of government benevolence and activities. You understand? So those are the people that were, and I know that the governor is very much likely to go that way. A moribund agency that was dead before he came in, he revived it, funded it, and they are thriving. And our plan is that to double whatever we've done in the last 2 years. Definitely, I urge all the people of Ogun State to come out en masse and vote for our governor, return him back to that seat so that we can be able to do more as an agency for the people.
With all this family in place, the socio-economic development of Ogun State can be said to be in safe hands.